We welcome you to this broadcast of girls varsity basketball on NKTelco Sports. We are here at the Botkins Athletic Complex where the Varsity Raiders will take on the Botkins Trojans. Tonight's game is brought to you by the following sponsors: Kehoe Pizza, First National Bank, Precision Strip, Emerson Climate Technologies, Garage Works, Grand Lake Health, Kogi Plumbing and Heating, Lincoln Electric Automation, the Minster Bank, New Knoxville Supply, Pratt Industries, Winners Meats, and NKTelco. You're looking live here at the Botkins Athletic Complex. My name's Brandon Coverman, and alongside me, Jeremy Plyman. And taking a look, Jeremy, at this game, first taking a look at the visitors, the Varsity Raiders. The Raiders sitting at 15-4 this year, 8-2 in the Shelby County Athletic League. They've won 3 in a row and trying to get a season sweep of the Trojans here today. And they're dealing with a little bit of injuries coming through here, but they're coming off a win Saturday against Anna.
Real nice win for them against Anna, to come in. Like you said, they're dealing with these injuries, and here we are heading into tournament season. We got, like we talked about earlier in the JV broadcast, tournament draw is on Sunday, so both these teams kind of sizing each other up a little bit, figuring that they're going to be Rushi probably the 2 seed and the Botkins Trojans either probably the 3 or 4 seed.
And you take a look at those Trojans on the other side. They've also won 3 in a row. They're sitting at 11-7. If they can score a win here tonight, there's a chance that they might take at least second in the Shelby County Athletic League.
Which would be a huge get for them and Coach Tyler Carson in his first year. After what they lost from last year in the seniors, Carmen Euchre, Boston Paul, Aaliyah Johnson, Carmen in Boston, the most games played in school history. Carmen Euchre just put her jersey up on the wall there last week for, her 1,200, nearly 1,200 points, and to come back the next year and be able to be possibly second in the league, that would be a huge step for Coach Tyler Carson.
Hi, I'm Mallory. My grandpa's been making the world's worst pizza for 30 years. That doesn't look like the world's worst pizza. Grandpa, I know why they call you Chunky Bob. It's because you use chunky ingredients on your pizza.
Of course, it's not because I'm fat.
Grandpa, this is the world's best pizza. Kehoe Pizza, come check Grandpa out.
Dine in or carry out.
Together, we are family, working safely for our loved ones.
We are problem solvers who challenge the status quo and drive improvement.
We care about our customer relationships.
We stay true to our values, caring and respecting one another.
We embrace change as we journey through our career.
We are Precision Strip, the world's leading processor of rolled steel and aluminum.
Precision Strip, doing the exceptional.
At Wilson Health, we're extending care beyond the walls of the hospital, with resources designed to keep you in charge of your health.
Our independence and connection to the community are unique in a world where big healthcare strives to act like corporations.
Our tools may be the same, but we are different.
We're neighbors, friends, and family who truly care about the people who live here.
We call it caring without limits, and it's just the beginning of a whole new Wilson Health.
Welcome back here to NKTelco Sports as we take a look at our Emerson Climate Technology starting lineups. As we get ready to go here again, the 15-4 Raiders and the 11-7 Botkins Trojans, as these teams did play back right before Christmas on December 22nd. The Raiders took home that game, won that game 50-32. Which was actually Coach Paul Brimogen's 500th career win when they defeated the Trojans back on December 22nd. So, again, our Emerson Climate Technology starting lineups. CC Borchers for the Raiders, averaging 12.8 points a game. Number 4, Ronnie Poling, averaging 7.4 points a game. Kate Sherman, averaging 8.7 points a contest. Number 14, Reese Dubose, senior, at 8 points a game. And rounding out the lineup, number 20, Jayla Shappy, averaging 2.2 points a game. The head coach of the Raiders in his second season is Paul Bremagen. And now the Emerson Climate Technology starting lineups for the Botkins Trojans. And again, the Trojans sitting at 11-7 on the year, 7-3 in the Shelby County Athletic League. As the Trojan students come on the floor. Number 3, 5-foot senior Lydia Dietz, averaging 4.8 points a game.
Starting at another guard, she's a 5'3" junior.
5'3" junior, averaging 8.3 points a game, Camden Paul.
Starting at a third guard position, a 5'8"
Another 5'8" junior, averaging 8.3 points a game as well, Mulaney Maurer. Number 12, 5'6" sophomore, Delana Pitts, averaging 6.8 points a game. And rounding out the lineup, a senior, averaging 4.3 points a game, Kennedy Dosek. The Botkins Trojans are coached by head coach Tyler Carson in his first season. And we'd like to thank Emerson Climate Technologies for sponsoring those starting lineups. So let's take a look at our keys to the game, brought to you by Keyhole Pizza in Newport, Ohio. Jeremy, first taking a look for the Russia Raiders.
For Coach Bremagen's team, they need to cut off the middle penetration, rebound the first shot, and establish an inside game with their bigger bigs on the bottom in the backcourt.
Taking a look at our keys to the game, brought to you for the Botkins Trojans.
Rebound for Coach Tyler Carson is number 1. Stop their bigs offensively and handle the pressure out front.
And as we get going here, the Trojans have won 2 of the last 3 meetings held here at the Coliseum. As these teams have met 3 times in the past 2 years, as a shot on the inside by Pulling, no good to start.
Right away, the Russia Raiders go inside and try to take advantage of that height situation.
Again, the Trojans trying to win their 3rd out of their last 4 games here in the Coliseum against the Raiders. And score a big win in the Shelby County Athletic League.
Trojans in their 5-out offense, spread offense here. A lot of cutting through the middle of the lane. A lot of attacking what we call the nail, which is in the middle of the free throw line.
Raiders get a turnover there. Gubo trying to push up ahead to Sherman. Sherman back up ahead to Borchers. Borchers shot up and good. CC Borchers gets in the box score. Borchers averaging about 13 points a game, a prime candidate maybe to be Shelby County Athletic League Player of the Year. Dosek in the lane, shot blocked by Poling. Gubo pushes up to the right wing to Borchers, on the inside to Sherman. She's triple team. Gets it out to Gubo, fires up a 3, shot off the mark, rebound down to Sherman. Back out to Gubo, swings it out to Shappy, back to Gubo. Raiders will reset.
Trojans need to keep Russia off the board, giving up 3 to 4 inches on both Poling and Sherman.
Shappy, left right wing is no good. Shot up by Sherman, shot no good. Maurer comes up ahead with the basketball. Maurer swings to the middle, kicks it out to Dosek, and she just lost the basketball. And you know, you say, Jeremy, I've watched both these teams play quite a bit, and, you know, Russia having 2 girls that are above 6 foot, and Botkins really not being that tall. They were one of the teams, honestly, that has held that Raider Twin Tower duo in check the best as one of the smaller teams that they faced this year.
Well, yeah, and you talk about that. Dee Pitts at 5'7", averaging almost 7 rebounds per game. You know, just does a great job, and we've seen it there on that earlier possession, just clearing people out on rebounds.
The aforementioned Pitts in the lane. She gets tied up with Shappy as the Trojans will retain possession. As the first time these two played, I mean, the Raiders really pulled away in that second half, but both teams have changed a lot since that game. Janelle Plattfoot broke her hand in that game against Russia, as there's no foul called there along the baseline. Man, they're letting them play aggressive here early on.
Yeah, on both ends, because we've seen it on the other end here. The Trojans are got their hands in the cookie jar down there a lot, as Sherman scores too.
Sherman, 8.7 points a game, a 4-year player here on varsity, a 3-year starter. Maurer coming up ahead. Raiders trying to swing that pressure. Goes out to Camden Paul. Dosek in the corner to Pitts. Pitts trying to drive baseline. And Pitts being guarded by Sherman. And Pitts is going to try to take her baseline here.
And you're going to see that a lot. Dede loves to get that ball at that high post action in that 15-foot, and that's where they're going to try to probably put Kate Sherman in a little bit of an island with herself there.
And Shappy probably got away with the walk, and Shappy getting thrusted in that starting lineup role. And again, Raiders had 4 players with injuries. Grace Holscher tore her ACL. A little midseason medical emergency for Simone Putoff, and then Carly Scott had a volleyball injury flare up, and Maya Monin out right now with a boot on her leg, and then Janelle Plattford, of course, broke her hand, like I just said in that Russia game. Poling goes up and scores.
That high-low action there is what Russia's going to try to attack often. They're going to try to bring either Dede or Kennedy out of the block and just make one-on-one action down on the bottom.
And there's a Raider foul as Jana Metz is going to come in, make the first substitution of the ball game.
Jana Metz has come on here late after Janelle Plattfoot went down and has played some really solid basketball. She's given the Trojans a great lift, playing especially defensively and rebounding down on the post.
Maurer with the basketball. Maurer rotates it up over to Metz. Metz right in front of Dietz, and that's going to be a hand check foul against the Raiders. It's going to go against Shappy. Again, both these teams, again, not really that deep. You're going to see the Raiders go about 7 deep. You'll see the Trojans go about 7 deep as well, compared to usually a typical high school team goes about 8 deep.
The Trojans right now, their problem is offensively, they're playing it about 35 foot away from the basket and really struggling to get into the offensive flow here.
Dietz fires up a 3, bangs it home. Lydia Dietz hits a 3-pointer, and the Botkins Trojans get on the board.
This is how the Trojans will combat that size issue. They're going to pick you up 94 feet and try to really get you going and doing things you don't want to do.
Raiders going to slow it down and get it out to Sherman. Back over to Reese Gubo. Gubo trying to drive. Kicks it out to Shappy. Shappy back to Poling. Poling goes over to Borchers. Borchers back to Shappy. Over to Gubo. Kelby Dosek will check in at the next dead ball for the Raiders.
The Raiders really looking to try to get it to the post, and Dede Pitts and Jana Metz doing a real nice job fronting down below and getting a lot of help on the backside. There's a turnover.
And travel as substitutions for each team. Kennedy Dosek in for Botkins, and in for the Raiders is Kelby Dosek and Addison Shappy.
And number 21, Addison Shappy.
In a 6-3 ball game. Russia ahead of Botkins with 3:33 to go in the First National Bank. Think first scoreboard. Camden Paul brings the ball up the floor. Paul gives it to Dietz, who drives baseline. Dosek tipped it out of bounds, but must hit off the back iron, and it'll stay Botkins basketball. Dietz gets the ball in, back to Dosek, back to Dietz. Dietz drives on the inside to Dosek. Dosek trying to drive in the lane. Back over to Paul. Paul drives baseline, kicks it out, goes back to Dosek, who fires a 3, got it. Kennedy Dosek from the corner hits a 3, and we're knotted up at 6.
Nice drive there by Camden Paul. Drew 2 defenders. Kennedy slipped in right back there behind her. That was her man that went down and helped. Wide open 3 knocked down by Kennedy Dosek. Good offense there by the Trojans.
6-0 run here, a pair of 3-pointers for the Trojans. As Pitts comes off the bench and will come at the next dead ball. Borchers and Paul going at it. 2 all-team, first-team all-county selections here soon. Shappy gets the ball in the corner. Shappy goes back out to Gubo. Back out to Shappy. They're trying to get it into Dosek. It goes to Sherman.
The Trojans are doing a great job fronting, like we said, on the post, and then getting a lot of help on the backside. So the Raiders aren't real comfortable trying to throw it over the top because they see that backside help there.
Goes over to Shappy. Shappy going to fire a high arcing three, and it falls out. Maurer comes down with the rebound. Maurer pushes up ahead to Dietz. Dietz goes up the right side to Metz. Metz throws up a wild shot, and somehow that fell in for Jana Metz.
It was a little bit of a wild shot, but how about shout out to Jana Metz for just flat out running the floor, just hustling and making herself available.
CC Borcher's three rattles in and out from the right wing. Ball up ahead to Camden Paul. Paul gets that ball tipped and taken away by Reese Gubo. Gubo up ahead, runs the break, goes up to Borchers, who puts it in and ties the game back up at 8 on the First National Bank Think First scoreboard.
That's 5 turnovers in the quarter for the Lady Trojans, who come in averaging about 13 a game, and they're almost halfway there already. Not exactly what they want offensively.
Now we're back out to Camden Paul. Lydia Dietz with the basketball. Back out to Paul. Paul, 8.3 points, fires a three. Shot in and out. We've seen a couple of those rattle out on each side that looked like they were going to fall home. Shappy takes it baseline. One-handed shot. Falls out. Metz with the rebound, clears the boards. Trojans push up ahead. Maurer at 8.3 points a game. Kicks it out to Dosek. Under a minute to go here. Paul in the lane. Paul kicks it out. Goes out to Dosek. Dosek on the left wing. Shots no good. Rebound by Metz on the weak side. Goes up to Dietz. Dietz shot falls short, and Dosek gets the rebound. Gubo up ahead to Borchers. Borchers in the lane. Borchers wrapping around and is fouled, and will shoot two. Borchers will go to the line. She's attempted 76 free throws on the year. She sits at 67.1% on the year from the charity stripe.
On the other end, Jana Metz, we talk about just flat-out effort down there, running the floor to get the bucket earlier and then just outworking.
And for Botkins is Delana
for the defensive or offensive rebound.
And for Botkins is Delana Pitts, and pulling in Jayla Shappy in for the Raiders as the Raiders retake the lead. It was a 6-0 Raider run to start, and the Trojans punched right back with an 8-0 run and now a 4-0 run from the Raiders. So a game of runs here in the first quarter. Maurer goes up to Dosek. Dosek back out to Maurer. Goes back out to Pitts. Pitts drives on the inside, kicks it out to Dosek. Dosek trying to drive, trying to get around, pulling, and leans into some contact and draws a foul and will shoot two. Nice take there by the senior, Kennedy Dosek.
That's a move we've seen Kennedy do quite a few times this year. She loves to go to that baseline side on that left-hand side, and she kind of gets up underneath her defender, forces it up to the rim, and gets to the free throw line.
First free throw up and good for Dosek.
And if you're the Trojans, you like to see Kennedy Dosek at the free throw line, hitting them at 72% on the year.
Dosek splits the pair from the line.
Sorry about that, Kennedy.
The announcer's jinx. As Dosek again with 4 here on the night. Lead Trojan scorer at the first quarter. Dosek cannot corral it, that being Kelby Dosek for the Raiders, cannot corral it, and the Raiders turn it right back over to the Trojans. They have 5.4 seconds to do something here. Maurer up ahead, fires at the horn. It's off the mark. We're through 8 minutes of action. It is a 10-9 Rooster Raider lead over the Botkins Trojans. We'll step aside, come back with the second quarter of action here next on NKTelco Sports.
CarriageWorks has expanded and now can hold up to 25 cars in our service bay. CarriageWorks thrives on customer satisfaction. We accomplish that by providing top-of-the-line technology. CarriageWorks now uses a laser beam system to measure down to the millimeter of factory specs to better service you and get you back on the road. CarriageWorks has a brand new top-of-the-line paint booth that uses waterborne paint. There's no job too big or too small for CarriageWorks. We're certified collision specialists. Come in and see us today.
Ohio means jobs. Auglaize County has a job for you. Grand Lake Health System has over 800 employees. Included is Joint Township District Memorial Hospital and multiple physician practices. And we're now hiring a variety of positions that fit all education and skill levels. Plus, you'll get a great benefit package offered to both full and part-time workers. Join this rewarding career and help your community in the process. Contact Ohio Means Jobs Auglaize County for all your employment needs.
Back here on NKTelco Sports, 8 minutes to go here, beginning of the second quarter. It's a 10-9 game, and it was a game of runs in that first quarter, Jeremy. The Rooster Raiders hold on to a 1-point lead.
Yeah, they are, and the Trojans are getting it done at the three-point line. They got 2 of them there. They're 2 for 5 from the three-point line. Russia, on the other hand, is 0 for 4, but they seem to be wanting to go inside as they're 4 for 8 from inside the arc. The Trojans, on the other hand, are 1 for 3 on the inside of the arc, not taking that many.
Jayla Shappy with the basketball. Goes her cousin Addison Shappy on the inside. Try to get it to Kelby Dosek.
Almost a turnover there. Trojans collapse as that ball comes in the middle.
And they're not going to give the Raiders anything from the inside. Addison Shappy going to fire a 3. Shots no good. It's going to be a foul on Ronnie Poling, and it'll go the way of the Trojans. As Camden Paul and Kate Sherman will check in for their respective teams.
Substitution into the game for the Trojans, number 2, Camden Paul.
For the Trojans, the young lady you probably want to get going on the offensive end for them is Camden Paul a little bit here. She does have a couple assists, so it's not like, she might not have any points yet, but she has made some nice assists and stuff like that. So you want to get her involved here offensively is what the Trojans want.
Yeah, shot from Dosek, no good. Dosek led their scoring with 4 points in the first quarter, had a 3 and a free throw. As Gubo goes up to the left side, goes up to Addison Shappy, back up to Kelby Dosek. Try to run Gubo off a curl. They get it to Sherman on the inside, and Sherman scores.
There on a quick ball reversal, Sherman's got Dee Pitts pinned in front, and the Trojans had help on the backside. Unfortunately, it was that 5-foot Lydia Dosek, and that was just a easy basket for Kate Sherman right over the top.
It's out to Camden Paul. She can tie it with the 3. Shot off the mark. Rebound, though, goes over to Kennedy Dosek. Goes down to Pitts, and Coach Tyler Carson had a timeout called. If he didn't, it would have been probably an easy 2 there for the Botkins Trojans. But we'd like to remind you that all timeouts this year are brought to you by Precision Strip. I'd like to thank our sponsors, also our Burke Petroleum, Chiltex LLC, Cy Schwederman, Dickman Supply, Hometown Opportunity, Hulsman Automotive, Park National Bank, Securcom, St. Henry Bank, and Wilson Health. Our keys to the game are brought to you by Keyhole Pizza, our scoreboard sponsor, First National Bank, our starting lineup sponsor, Emerson Climate Technologies, timeout sponsor, Precision Strip, and our player of the game, which Jeremy and I will bring to you at the end of the game, is brought to you, as always, by NKTelco. So, a nice ball reversal there by the Raiders to get a quick score. He said Sherman had Pitts pinned down there, but the Trojans have really hard denied the Raiders on the inside that they're not going to get the ball on the inside. We know they have a size advantage, but the Trojans, play a really good interior defense.
They are. They're playing real good on the interior and are pretty much telling Russia, hey, we're not going to let you beat us in here. You're going to have to knock down some shots from the outside. And to this point, so far, the Raiders have been unable to do that. Dee Pitts with the charge.
And charge going to be taken by Jayla Shappy. Again, we said has been thrusted into that role of starting now. She was starting JV at the beginning of the year, now starting varsity. But she is a junior. Again, due to a lot of the Raiders' injuries that they're going through right now.
That's probably where Dee Pitts is at her best, though, is what they want to put her on that high post. And there's an high-low action for Kate Sherman.
Sherman at 6 now. Again, averages 8.7 a contest. Raiders going to try a little run and jump here as Dietz goes down in the lane, kicks it out to Camden Paul. And you mentioned it, Jeremy. Trojans probably want to get Camden Paul going here. She remains scoreless in the second quarter.
Camden's their leading scorer at 8.9 points per game. Also leads them in steals. And is their lead defender.
Has played 4 years on varsity. She kicks in the lane and turns it over. Gubo up ahead, trying to get ahead of the pack. Gubo to that left side is fouled, going up, and she'll shoot 2. Yeah, Reese Gubo on a season, 71% at the line. She has 31 attempts. Her 3rd year on varsity. 2 years as a starter. at the line, cannot connect on the first one as Mulaney Maurer comes back in. And the interesting thing, you take a look at this Botkins team is, they play about 5 or 6, girls generally, but just love their averages are all similar. Mulaney Maurer, 8.3 points a game. Camden Paul, 8.3 points a game. Janelle Platt, before she went out, was 7.4 points a game. Delana Pitts right at 7. Lydia Dietz at 4.8. Kennedy Dosek at 4.3. You just love the balance of this Trojans team.
Well, and that's what makes them a little bit of a tough out. There are a couple things. They don't have bigs, which for this area makes it a little bit tough because although you can score you might be able to get the ball in the post to them against them, it's putting you in a bad spot defensively, and that's what we've seen a couple times this year where the Trojans have gotten other teams' bigs in problems because now they're guarding 24 foot away from the basket. On the other hand, they're so balanced.
Gubo gonna fire a 3, and that's probably her best attribute is her being a sharpshooter. And she hits a 3 there. And it's a 17-9 Raider lead on the First National Bank Think First scoreboard. Pitts with the basketball on the left side. Goes back to Dietz. Dietz back to Maurer. Maurer on the inside. Shots a little too much there as Borchers tries to re-navigate around this Trojan defense. Borchers up ahead. Kicks out to Jayla Shappy, who fires a 3. She's got it from the right wing. Pair of Raider threes has stretched this lead all of a sudden to 11 on the First National Bank Think First scoreboard.
Coach Tyler Carson's going to need a timeout here with 4:16 to go. Down 11, like you said, Brandon. Back-to-back threes and not real great looking on the offensive end over here for the Trojans here in the second quarter.
All timeouts this year brought to you by Precision Strip. Rushi leading Botkins 20-9 here on NKTelco Sports.
We are here and here and here. Minster Bank is everywhere, providing every banking service that you need to keep your financial life in order. Whether you are on the go or stopping by one of our branches, Minster Bank is here for you. We proudly support the communities where you live. Minster Bank, helping people achieve financial success.
Unpack your potential with a career at Pratt Industries. Working at Pratt Industries is more than a job. It's a sustainable career.
Pratt Industries to me is a job. It's my career. It's the way I put food on my table, but I love what I do.
We offer competitive pay, excellent benefits, and opportunities for career advancement. To apply, visit careers.prattindustries.com.
Back here in NKTelco Sports, we'd like to remind you that NKTelco Sports and its sponsors are pleased to bring you replays of girls high school basketball on NKTelco Channel 3 and HD on Channel 503. You can catch the replays of this game Tuesday, February 14th at 7 p.m. and Saturday, February 18th at 4 p.m. You can also watch more games on demand through YouTube, Facebook, and at nktelco.com/sports. As we come out of this precision strip timeout, Jeremy, the Raiders hit a couple threes there, one from senior Reese Gubo, the other from Jayla Shappy, and what was a 5-point game all of a sudden stretches out to an 11-point lead quickly.
Yeah, ballooned real quickly here as the Trojans had a turnover and then a missed opportunity offensively. Raiders went down the other side, and as we see here, Rushi's extended their defense here to start the second quarter, and they're way out beyond half court and kind of playing into what the Trojans like to do to them. Now they're trying to return in the favor.
Chappie trying to get a tip there. Mulaney Maurer. Maurer brings it up across half court. Maurer looking, gives it up over to Jana Metz. Metz over to Dosek. And Metz playing in that full-time varsity role now. Not playing any more JV. Has been that sixth girl, so to speak.
Yeah, since Janelle went down, Jana's done a real nice job taking on that role, especially defensively.
Dietz fires a 3, shot no good, rebound cleared there by Kate Sherman. Raiders up ahead, leaks out over to Jayla Shappy. Shappy up ahead to Dietz.
No call on that.
Yeah, I think you might have got pushed off there. You're right, Jeremy, but CC Borcher's going to hit a 3. It makes it hurt even worse, and I think you're right. I think she got away with a push-off there as Borchers hits a 3 from the corner.
And then to add insult to injury there, you get the 3 knocked down, and another turnover from the Trojans.
Raiders swipe it away. Borchers going up is fouled, and they'll shoot 2. As CC Borchers heads to the line, and you talked about the Raiders this season. We talked briefly about the injuries, but their 2 main cogs, going into the season were their seniors, CC Borchers and Kate Sherman, and right now they're proving it, having 17 of the 23 Raider points right now.
And the 2 threes were that Shappy and Goubeau hit. They were rebounded, outlet to CC Borchers, and she pushed the action down the floor and got them wide open because the Trojans are retreating to the lane, waiting on CC Borchers to get in there, and she's finding open looks onto the wing and into the corner.
Borchers hits the first free throw. Second free toss is good as well. CC Borchers into double figures with 11, right just under her season average at 12.8 points a game. Again, mentioned that she's looking to be named Player of the Year. Last time a Raiders player was named Player of the Year was Maria Herron back in 2017, as Sherman's going to be called for the body foul, and that's the right call. She made contact with Paul going up before she swatted it, and that's a good call there by the official, I believe.
Camden did a nice job getting into Kate there to create that contact, and then Kate, when she came down with her hand, that was an easy call for the referee there.
68% Camden Paul is from the line this year, and she gets in the box score and increases her season average. And Camden's made just 22 trips to the line. And she splits the pair from the line there.
I don't keep individual rebounds, but Kate Sherman has a pile of them already in this first half.
Yeah, she's played very well here as the Raiders going to try to stay hot from the outside, and it just lips out for CC Borchers, who again has 11. Pitts pushing it up ahead. She gets it tipped away there. It goes to Addison Shappy. Shappy will slow it down as she's pressured by Paul. It went off Shappy, and it'll be Botkins basketball.
To tell you how well the Russia Raiders are shooting in this second quarter, Brandon, 1 defensive rebound for the Trojans.
It's a 15-1 run this quarter for the Raiders. It was 10-9 after 1 quarter. And kind of maybe a little somewhat opposite of what Botkins had last Thursday when they played Fairlawn. It was like 10-8 after the first quarter, and they scored 30 points. And they had a really good second quarter. It's kind of been the opposite of that for them tonight, as Pitts' 3 is no good from the right wing.
Coach Tyler Carson would probably like to see Dee take that to the rim there a little bit. That's more of her style than shooting the deep 3.
Kennedy Dosek in for Lydia Dietz. Again, it's kind of younger Botkins team, as we said, very junior heavy. As Jayla Shappy's back in, and Lydia Dietz also a senior as well. So Botkins, we talked about has a bright future again after this year as well, bringing back a lot of players.
Have a freshman team, which is always good. You got a lot of girls playing a lot of minutes down there for your freshmen and junior or sophomores between JV and freshman basketball. Jenna Metz just a little late on that help to that backside for Kate Sherman there.
That's the 5th team foul against the Trojans. Metz first. Both teams have 5 fouls going against each other. 25-10 Raider lead on the First National Bank Think First scoreboard. Kate Sherman, 58% from the line this year, as she's had 51 attempts now as she sinks that. And Dietz back in after a quick breather. As Paul will get a quick breather as well. Kate Sherman, the all-time leader in kills in Russia volleyball history. As she cans both free throws, she's up to 8 now. Raiders bring some pressure. Yep. And foul from the backside by Shappy.
They're going to call Shappy. She had that hand on Mulaney's hip there as she tried to get through. That's a pretty intimidating trap coming over when Kate Sherman's hawking you down. Mulaney's got some height to herself at 5'8", but Kate Sherman at 6'1" tall and probably longer than she is tall.
And Kelby Dosek going to come in for Shappy after she picks up her second foul.
Next one will put the Trojans in bonus.
Maurer trying to exchange it, facing double team from Dosek and Gubo. And the Trojans turn it over.
That is 10 now in the half for the Trojans, 5 in the second quarter.
Borchers in the corner, drives baseline. Back out to Gubo. Gubo going to fire a three, and that's in and out. And it's going to go off of Borchers. Camden Paul in the lineup again. You know, these breathers are really short. You know, you rotate those 6 girls in, you get a little bit, and you got to come back in.
Right now, the Trojans are looking for something offensively to kind of get off this schneid here that they've got in the second quarter. 1 point so far with 53 seconds to go.
Pitts through the lane. Shot's no good. Rebound down to Sherman. Botkins still hunting for a field goal this second quarter. Dosak up ahead to Borchers. Borchers going to give it out to Gubo. It's going to be a foul up front against Dietz. Had her hands too long on Gubo.
Coach Bremingen asking for one shot here. They're going to try to hold this for 32 seconds here and get another look. Not quite to the 1-and-1 yet.
Yeah, they were going 1-and-1. I thought it was only their 16th foul, and it is.
Reese Gubo trying to talk him into it at least. She's like, if I can walk over to the free throw line, you'll give it to me, right?
I think Don Mack would make sure at the book and make sure to say, no.
Yeah, he's pretty accurate on it down there. He's on top of his game.
Gubo with the basketball, gives it up over to Borchers. 20 seconds to go, first half.
Man, they are letting them hand check out front.
Yeah, they are.
On both sides. We've seen the Raiders doing it and the Trojans. And you can't complain. They've been consistent with it.
Yeah.
They've left it go both ways, but, man, they are hand checking 30 feet from the basket.
Run a
flare screen.
Yep. Here it is for Gubo off the front of the iron. Pitts has got to get the shot off. She can't do it quite in time, and the Russia Raiders take a 27-10 lead into the halftime break. We'll step aside, come back with the second half of action here next on NKTelco Sports.
Are you looking for a rewarding career? Lincoln Electric Automation in Coldwater and Fort Loramie supplies top-of-the-line automation systems to manufacturers. Lincoln Electric Automation routinely develops its team through hiring and by offering advanced technical training. We understand that every employee matters, and every role contributes to the success of our business. We offer advancement opportunities, competitive wages, and benefit packages. Visit LincolnElectric.com and get on track to a better career and a better future.
New Knoxville Supply Company, the supply source for residential, commercial, and industrial jobs. We specialize in plumbing products from many name brands, electrical products from replacing a light switch to rewiring an entire house, heating, air conditioning, and geothermal products, sheet metal ductwork, installations, and service. We are now housing more inventory, so all the hardware items you need to complete the job are available right away. New Knoxville Supply. Stop in, call, or check us out online at newknoxvillesupply.com.
Whether you do business from a corner store or a corner office, there is one asset your business cannot do without: the internet. Everything from sales and marketing, training and shipping, PR, HR, and R&D, your business relies on a fast, reliable, and secure connection. And now, it's more important than ever to partner with an internet provider you can trust. Get Flight Fiber for Business, backed by local tech support from NKTelco. Call today.
Hi, I'm Mallory. My grandpa's been making the world's worst pizza for 30 years. That doesn't look like the world's worst pizza. Grandpa, I know why they call you Chunky Bob. It's because you use chunky ingredients on your pizza.
Of course, it's not because I'm fat.
Grandpa, this is the world's best pizza. Keyhole Pizza, come check Grandpa out.
Dine in or carry out.
Back here in NKTelco Sports halftime, getting ready for the beginning of the second half of action between Russia and Botkins, and the Raiders lead the Trojans 27-10 after 2 quarters of play, and a big second quarter there by the Raiders where they go on a 17-1 run. Let's take a look at our halftime numbers here from Mr. Jeremy Blyman.
For the first half there, the Russia Raiders out-rebounded the Trojans 12-8. The Trojans turned it over, and part of their offensive issues were the 10 turnovers. The Russia Raiders had 4. Russia on the day shot 9 of 21 from the field, 3 of 11 from 3, and 6 of 8 from the free throw line. For the Trojans, they were 3 for 14 from the field, 2 for 9 from 3, and 2 for 4 from the free throw line. Brandon, go back to those 10 turnovers were an issue, and the fact that Russia had multiple offensive rebounds on the other end when Kate Sherman was just dominating the boards.
And it was at one point where it was 14-9. Felt like the game could have swung either way. And at that point, Reese Gubo hits a 3, Jayla Shappy hits a 3, and then it's 20-9. And then you're like, what's a 2-possession game? All of a sudden grows to 11 in a blink of an eye. And the Raiders take a 17-point lead, which is as much as they won by in the first contest into the halftime break. As the Trojans start with the basketball, they got to get that girl going, Camden Paul, in the second half if they need to come back. She misses the shot on the inside. Chased by 3 Trojans. Shappy up ahead. Shappy gets it to Poling, who's wide open, and scores. Ronnie Poling gets in the box score. Actually, she's got 4 now.
Snuck in behind her and then just threw over the top with her length. They were just able to throw it up and over the top of Kennedy Dosek. She was kind of in a position she couldn't really do much there to outlast that one.
And Poling with 3 fouls quickly has to go to the bench. And you could see Coach Brumgen mouthing, Poling or Ronnie. It's kind of a silly foul there right away, and it's got to get Kelby Dosek off the bench quickly. There may be an opening on the inside for the Trojans, as that's one of the girls you don't have to worry about now on the inside, maybe. Less, at least, with Kelby Dosek coming in now as Trojans turn it over.
On the other hand, though, Lacey Flippo has done Kelby Dosek has done a nice job going high-low with Kate Sherman when she's been in there, and now she's got the ball on the block.
She's swarmed by 3 Botkins Trojan defenders, and it would have had that. He would have had a wide open shot for Gubo, but all timeouts this year brought to you by Precision Strip. Again, we like to remind you that NKTelco Sports and its sponsors are pleased to bring you replays of girls high school basketball on NKTelco Channel 3 and HD on Channel 503. You can catch the replays of this game Tuesday, February 14th at 7 p.m. and Saturday, February 18th at 4 p.m. You can also watch more games on demand through YouTube, Facebook at nktelco.com/sports. And again, we'd like to thank both these schools for being K-Motion cameras and having all their home games broadcast this year. I know this is my last scheduled broadcast at Botkins. Done a lot of games up here, so we're glad that the Trojan fan base has hopped on this K-Motion camera. We're glad to do all the games here at Botkins High School. Did my first ever game, NKTelco game, actually here at Botkins, so we've had a lot of good games called here in the Coliseum.
Well, and the community, and I think I speak for them, and we thank NKTelco for allowing us to be part of this. It's been a great attribute and a great addition for us. A lot of the community members really enjoy it. It's made it a lot easier for our coaches, not having to find somebody to videotape the home games and stuff like that. So, again, thank you to NKTelco and helping out and getting us on board with this.
Sherman hits the first free throw, and she's up to 9 now.
Trojans got one more home game. They'll play Monday here at home against Lima Perry.
There's 2 free throws hit by Sherman, and it's a 31-10 Raider lead on the First National Bank Think First scoreboard. As Sherman joins Borchers in double figures. Dietz in the corner will fire a 3, pops out, rebound again down to who else but Kate Sherman. Shabby up ahead, gets it out to Gubo. Gubo going to be fouled there by Camden Paul, who reached in there, and that'll be the second team foul on the Trojans.
I kind of feel like we're playing 2 different halves here. The referees are not allowing that hand checking out front. Ronnie Poling got called there earlier, and Camden Paul just got called one that in the first half. Those were not called as fouls, Brandon.
Dosek on the inside. Sherman kicks out in the corner to Borchers.
Trojans aren't doing as good a job as fronting Kate Sherman as they did in the first half here. Now Kate tries to go over the top.
And this is a bad decision there by Sherman, and Dosek easily picks that off. Paul trying to split the defense, gets it taken away by Borchers. Something Botkins tried to split in there a couple times. Borchers been able to break up some of those plays. As nice straight up defense by Pitts on the inside. Sherman gets it out to Gubo. Shappy gonna fire a 3, shot off the mark. Pitts with the rebound. Pitts on the inside with a full head of steam, and we know that's when Pitts is her best, is when she goes to the basket with a full head of steam and tries to go score the basketball.
She gave that little hesitation move like she wanted to stop there and then just went all the way in. And like you said, when she's going to her right hand and she wants to get to the rim, she can.
Pitts hits the first free throw. Just around about 50% this year for Pitts. And Jana Metz is in and trying to tell Lydia Dietz, get off the floor. We don't want 6 girls on the floor. As coming in for the Raiders, too, is Addison Shappy now. Pitts, perfect trip to the line for her.
Her first 2 on the day. Trojans now in what looks to be a 2-2-1 press.
Shappy up ahead. Shot is good. It hung there for a while and falls in for the sophomore Addison Shappy. And she'll have a chance at the old-fashioned three-point play. And one of the nice things you take a look at for the Raiders, we talked about their injuries. 3 of their 4 girls out right now are seniors, unfortunately, but some of these girls seeing this extra playing time, like Addison Shappy and Jayla Shappy, it'll benefit them for next year on varsity. The Raiders are going to graduate a lot of seniors.
Yeah, and like you said, that is a nice luxury to have there. Now, on the other hand, replacing a Kate Borchers is going to take a little bit more than we think.
And a three-pointer from Camden Paul. Her first field goal of the night. And the Trojans, like I said, need to get her going. And they're going to run that run and jump here. Swing around a defender. They get it to Gubo. 33-15. Raiders ahead of the Trojans on the First National Bank Think First scoreboard. My name's Brendan Coburn, alongside me, Jeremy Plyman.
Backdoor cut for a flare screen up top here.
Gubo hits a three-pointer. And you don't see, the way she spins that ball, it's just that rotation coming off her hands. It's so nice. It's so smooth. It's so textbook.
Yeah, it was really a pretty shot. She got her feet set, squared up, came off that double down screen there. Camden Paul on a pump fake and to the rim.
Raiders trying to push it up again. Paul gets her hand in there. Nice breakup by Camden Paul. She straddles the sideline, gets it out to Maurer. Maurer left side, and she scores her first field goal. Botkins getting something going here in the third quarter. That's what you need to get going for Botkins is Mulaney, Maurer, and Camden Paul.
Yeah, up until then, Camden had 4 points. Mulaney hadn't scored, and that's what they needed to get going there.
Kelby Dosek gets in the box score as she scores.
The pace is a little bit higher up. This is more like it was in the first quarter here.
Gubo gets the steal up ahead to Sherman, who lays it in. Kate Sherman with a dozen now, surpasses Borchers and having game-high honors.
You get Gubo and Sherman coming to trap there, or even a CC Borchers. Man, that makes it real tough on a guard. Long arms, aggressive.
Pitts on the inside. Pitts cross-court pass to Paul. Paul to the basket. Shot no good. Rebound down to Sherman. Borchers up the floor. Borchers trying to split the defense. Just lost it, and it'll be Trojan basketball. Substitutions in for Botkins, Kylie Mack, and Lydia Dietz. And in for the Raiders are Pulling and Shappy.
And number 20, Jayla Shappy.
2:51 to go here in the third quarter. 40-17, Raiders ahead. Maurer goes to Dietz. Dietz driving on the inside, back over to Pitts. Over to Maurer. High arcing shot is good. We talked about really good shots with Reese Gubo. Mulaney. Maurer has a beautiful looking stroke as well.
Yeah, she got, again, very much like Reese Gubo, got her feet set, follow through, knock that down all in one rhythm.
Her and her sister McKenna both shoot very similar, and it both went in a lot of the time.
Yeah,
so
they both have that high arcing shot there. CC Borchers now takes her turn off that double screen.
And Borchers hadn't scored yet this third quarter, had all 11 in the first half. Maurer going to test her luck. Shot no good. Rebound down to Addison Shappy. There's a lot of good shooters on this floor, too, in this game.
Yeah, there are.
Dosek with the basketball. Gives it back over to Shappy.
Coach Bremingen calling out orders over there. Going to go to this high-low action here that they love to go to.
It's typical. That's a staple of Russia basketball. Again, Coach Bremingen coached the boys for 30 years. Won over 400 games before going to Troy and achieved his 500th victory this season in a game against Botkins. He won his 500th game, and he's been around a while. And here in Shelby County League basketball, he's a familiar face for sure.
Trojans doing a real nice job defensively. They're trying to get it in down low to Dosek, and there's a turnover created by Dede Pitts.
Pitts up ahead to Dietz, who gets in the lane and scores, Lydia. Dietz has got 5 now.
4 turnovers in the quarter here for the Russia Raiders. They had 4 in the first half.
Shappy on that left wing. Shappy going to hand it off to her cousin Addison. Shappy before Pitts gets her hands in there. And I think we're just going to go to the jump ball, and it's going to stay with the Raiders. As Sherman and Gubo enter back in, and in for Botkins for the first time is Reagan McFerrin.
And checking back in for the Raiders, number 13, Kate Sherman, and 14, Grace Gubo.
McFerrin in for the first time after in that JV contest that the Raiders won 34-25. As Gubo gets it in backcourt, guarded by McFerrin. Goes to the left side to Shappy in the corner to Sherman. She gives a shot fake over to Addison Shappy. High arcing shot from Shappy off the mark. Rebound down to Jayla Shappy. Back out to Reese Gubo. 24 seconds to go here, third quarter. Gubo through the lane is fouled by Mack, and she'll shoot 2.
She got by Reagan McFerrin and then just turned that corner and was head down, heading to the rim on that one.
Gubo, again, a 2-sport athlete. She'll suit up for the softball team in the spring. She'll win their 6th consecutive Shelby County League title. Played left field on that team that was a regional runner-up to the Bradford Railroaders last year, and she cans the first free throw. Gubo at the line. Again, hits the first, coming in at 71% on the season. Hits both free throws, and Gubo is up to 8. Really kind of their senior leaders have led them here tonight as they force a turnover in backcourt due to the Raiders.
The Raiders up 20 here. If you're the Trojans right now, you want a defensive stop here, 20 seconds. Take every possession and try to get something out of it. Back door, they tried to go. Nice defense by Lydia Dietz to sniff that out.
Raiders think going to run an isolation here to end the quarter. Shappy tries to go against Pitts. Pitts just cuts her off. They get it to Gubo. Gubo's got to get it off, and the Raiders won't that bucket will not count, as it's a 42-22 Raider lead heading into the fourth quarter. We'll step aside, come back with the fourth quarter of action here next on NKTelco Sports.
Together, we are family, working safely for our loved ones.
We are problem solvers who challenge the status quo and drive improvement.
We care about our customer relationships.
We stay true to our values, caring and respecting one another.
We embrace change as we journey through our career.
We are Precision Strip, the world's leading processor of rolled steel and aluminum.
Precision Strip, doing the exceptional.
At Wilson Health, we're extending care beyond the walls of the hospital, with resources designed to keep you in charge of your health.
Our independence and connection to the community are unique in a world where big healthcare strives to act like corporations.
Our tools may be the same, but we are different.
We're neighbors, friends, and family who truly care about the people who live here.
We call it caring without limits, and it's just the beginning of a whole new Wilson Health.
Back here on NKTelco Sports, beginning of the fourth quarter, it's a 42-22 Russia Raider lead over the Botkins Trojans. And Jeremy, that quarter was a 15-12 quarter. Just the difference here so far has been that second quarter.
Yeah, exactly right, Brandon. That second quarter is what's given the Trojans some issues here. It's a 20-point lead, but you know, in that quarter right there, the Trojans and the Raiders played pretty well even.
McFerrin back over to Maurer. It's swiped away by Gubo. Gubo stops up over to Shappy. Swiped back by Kennedy Dosek. Dosek back out to Maurer. Maurer back out to McFerrin. McFerrin from the left wing falls well short. And it'll be Raider basketball. Raiders will inbound it.
Trojans picking up 94 feet, man-to-man.
And trying to get back in this game here. 7:21 to go. Gubo gets a screen at half court up over to Shappy on the right side. Shappy up to Sherman, top of the key, left side to Borchers. On the inside to Poling. Poling, power move, shot no good. Sherman on the cleanup scores. Kate Sherman's got a game high 14 points.
14 points and probably 10 rebounds, couple blocks. Quite a performance by Kate Sherman here tonight on her last trip to the Coliseum.
And Paul fouled out front by Borchers. Two players that will probably be first-team All-County selections when that's announced here in a couple weeks. Again, you mentioned Sunday is the tournament draw, which is crazy to think of again with you always think, basketball is a long season, but, you get to Christmas and then it seems just to speed up after that.
Yeah, and especially this year, for some of these teams, maybe not so further on the girls a little bit, you had Fort Laramie who went deep into the volleyball tournament, and so did Russia, so that might have backed their season up a game or so, and then when you start stacking them on the back end, man, it has went like a blur since Christmas.
Yeah, we started a little earlier this year, too. I think the first game of the season for the Raiders was on November 18th when they took on Sydney. And I think that was about the same night, too, maybe for the Botkins Church, somewhere around there.
Right.
About a week before Thanksgiving.
We actually had to back ours up because we were supposed to play Coldwater, and Coldwater was in the state football tournament, so we had to back our game up there a little bit.
Borchers on the inside, ties Sherman up for a game-high 14. Actually, no, she has 13 now, excuse me. Dietz on the inside, blocked by Poling. It'll stay Botkins basketball.
Great move by Lydia Dietz to get in there, and she went up with the left hand. Just the difference is Ronnie Poling in the middle.
Kennedy Dosek comes in for Botkins. Coming in for the Raiders is Ronnie Poling and Addison Shappy. Metz in the corner, goes on the left side to Dosek. They get it to Dietz in the corner, but they're going to call an illegal screen against Metz. She's not set there. But again, we talked about that draw a little bit earlier in the JV contest, where pretty much it's a consensus that the Laramie Redskins will get the number 1 overall seed. They beat Russia, who will probably get the number 2 seed, which has been was the order last year, going 1-2 as well.
And fans need to understand that seeding is already done. So this game here does not have any effect on any of that, Brandon.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right there. And Dosek scores. Went up, it's a 48-22 Raider lead. But you're right there. And two, you talk about it, Mrs. Sinawa and Botkins is up there. Tough thing for the Trojans to justify there is that you did lose to Mrs. Sinawa here earlier in December. So Mrs. Sinawa probably slotting in at that 3 seed, but the Trojans probably slot in right behind them at that 4 seed, you'd think, with beating Jackson Center twice.
Well, and there's the team, too, is the Jackson Center Tigers. They've got, McKinley Reichert and Allie Biederman, who, so if you're the 5 seed, normally we see 1 will go on the board, 2 and 3 will go opposite. In the last few years, everybody's been running from Fort Laramie, and we've seen the 2, the 3, the 4, and almost all the way down to the 5 go to the opposite side. This year, you're probably looking at the same thing because that other side is, Russia's having their way a little bit here tonight, but that wasn't the case over at Russia for the first 3 quarters.
Was not.
And as the Trojans like to shoot the 3, that can cause some issues for teams also.
Ball stolen by the Trojans in the lane. Courtney Flippo gets the rebound, who's in the lineup. It was up to Addison Shappy. Shappy in the lane, turns around. Shot is up and in for Addison Shappy. She's got 4 now, averaging 2.1 points a game. Or the sophomore. Paul with the basketball. Paul drives on the inside. Shot no good. And rebound down to Kelby Dosek. Dosek is going to be called for an offensive foul. She swung her elbow around, and a good call by the official. He pointed the wrong way.
Yeah.
I was like, I think Dosek swung her elbow there.
And that's the call they're not allowing. You go back a couple years ago before the concussion stuff like that. They're not allowing those, swing your arms wildly like that.
Ball up to Kennedy Dosek, battling against Kelby Dosek. Paul on the inside. Nice move. Couldn't get it to fall. Dosek clears the boards for the Raiders. Gubo up ahead. Stopped. Up to Dosek in transition, and she banks it in. Kelby Dosek's got 6 points and having a nice game off the bench.
Real nice game. Gubo pushes the action down there and got Kelby Dosek on the trail.
Kennedy Dosek from the corner. It's going to go off of Maurer, they say. Sophia Braun, Kylie Mack going to come in for Botkins. In for the Raiders is Lacey Flippo and Jenna York. York, another one of those seniors for the Raiders. As Braun in. Sophia Braun playing that JV game. She's a sophomore. And Kylie Mack, a junior. Saw a little playing time earlier. Raiders break that initial pressure. Kelby Dosek gets it up to Lacey Flippo. As Botkins preparing to get some more subs in as well, that we saw earlier in the JV contest.
Jenna Metz, Reagan McFerrin, and Grace Gutman. Turnover by the Raiders.
Maurer, left wing, high arcing three, in and out. Rebound tipped out, goes to Dietz in the corner. Dietz, shot up, no good. Pitts there to clean it up. As we have a 30-second timeout from Coach Tyler Carson, and as Pitts gets that score, and it's just for subs. So, again, all timeouts brought to you by Precision Strip this year on NKTelco Sports. And Grace Gutman, Reagan McFerrin, and Jana Metz in for Botkins. Just a shade under 3 minutes. Here, 52-24. And it was 10-9 after the first quarter, but ever since that, the Raiders really took control of this ballgame. Led 10-2 this quarter as well, as Flippo tried to get it on the inside to York. It's going to stay Raider basketball.
The first quarter for the Trojans in this game was really good and competitive. Then they had that lull in the second quarter there where, the Trojans could not get a basket to go in and turned it over 5 times. The third quarter was another competitive quarter. And then here in the fourth quarter, the Raiders just kind of outshot and out-rebounded the Trojans offensively.
York trying to go up and under, and shots no good. It'll stay Raider basketball. Shay Hammond's in the lineup as Kelby Dosek's night's over with 6 points. With this win, the Raiders going to have second place of the Shelby County Athletic League, most likely. It's going to take a lot for them to win it. They need a Laramie loss, which hasn't happened in the league yet, and then they'll have to beat Fort Laramie, who they play a week from tonight on senior night over there.
Yeah, that makes it real difficult when you go over there. So, and like you said, asking somebody else to beat Laramie, I believe, who are playing Houston tonight.
Yeah. Probably wrap up the league here again. And the last time a non-Laramie team has won the league was 2017. I was a junior in high school. So it's been a while since the Redskins have been not the champions. Yeah, as that team was Jackson Center who won the league that year, and they went to the state Final Four that year. That's the last time they've won the someone that's not named Laramie has won the Shelby County Athletic League title.
The referee's in a hurry to get going here, evidently.
I saw that the other night at a Sydney game where ref sat the ball down and counted out the 5 seconds. Team was still in the huddle.
Wow.
They didn't let it go, and Lacey Flippo's jump shot falls. Lacey Flippo gets in the box score. And 90 seconds to go here, and The Raiders will get a quality win. They'll pick up their 16th of the year, their 9th Shelby County League victory. Trojans get it in, up over to McFerrin. McFerrin trying to drive on the inside. They get it into Metz. Metz goes up and is fouled, and Jana Metz will shoot 2.
That ball came like a rocket. Good hands by Jana Metz.
Well, Metz at the line trying to dent the Raider lead. I think Metz has kind of been that person that's come up and now has got full-time varsity duty now as she misses the first free throw. Metz's second free throw is up and good. Jana Metz now with 3. I'm sure she's going to apply a little pressure in backcourt. Addison Shappy brings it up, and
here comes the run and jump.
And Shappy walked there. She dragged the pivot foot.
She turned the corner there and saw Sophie Braun running at her and kind of made her panic a little bit.
Exactly right, and turns it right back over to the Trojans as Gutman brings it up, gets a screen from McFerrin. Goes back over to McFerrin. Drives over to Mack in the corner to Braun. Back over McFerrin, loses the basketball, gets it up to Metz, who scores. Jana Metz now has 5 points here on the night. And Metz coming in this game only averaging just exactly 2 points a game.
Had a real nice game for herself here. Like we said, she's done a real nice job. You know, you can't replace Janelle Plattfoot, but she's done a nice job filling a role that has helped the Trojans be very successful here.
Courtney Flippo scores, gets in the box score, the freshman. As we dribble out these remaining seconds here, as it's probably be Botkins' last offensive set here, possibly, and they throw it right away to Coach Tyler Carson. As Flippo will take out right in front of the Botkins bench here. Flippo gets it tipped out here. And yeah, this official is ready to get home.
Yeah,
he set that ball down twice.
In a hurry.
Shappy gets it tipped out. 12.1 seconds here. See, sets it down on the ground again. Nope, not this time. Flippo will get it into her sister Courtney. Courtney gets to the double team. Back up to Lacey Flippo, and that again will be all as Flippo will dribble out the remaining seconds here, and we got a final. Our score, Russia 56, Botkins 27. As we get our final totals up, we'll thank our sponsors here on NKTelco Sports. This was all, by the way, the 108th all-time meeting against the 108th all-time meeting against these teams here tonight. The sponsors that brought you the 108th meeting between these teams were Keyhole Pizza, First National Bank, Precision Strip, Emerson Climate Technologies, Carriage Works, Grand Lake Health, Kogi Plumbing and Heating, Lincoln Electric Automation, the Minster Bank, New Knoxville Supply, Pratt Industries, Winners Meats, and NKTelco. Our keys to the game are brought to you by Keyhole Pizza, scoreboard sponsor First National Bank. Think First. Our starting lineup sponsors brought to you by Emerson Climate Technologies. And our timeout sponsors brought to you by Precision Strip. And our player of the game, which Jeremy and I will select here in a second, is brought to you by NKTelco. Our additional sponsors are Burke Petroleum, Chiltex LLC, Cy Schwederman, Dickman Supply, Hometown Opportunity, Hulsman Automotive, Park National Bank, Securicom, and the St. Henry Bank. I'd also like to remind you that NKTelco Sports and its sponsors are pleased to bring you replays of girls high school basketball on NKTelco Channel 3 or in HD on Channel 503. And those replays can be brought to you Tuesday, February 14th at 7 p.m. and Saturday, February 18th at 4 p.m. You can also watch more games on demand through YouTube, Facebook, and at nktelco.com/sports. Our scores through the quarters tonight, after one quarter of play, it was 10-9. It was 10-9. Russia ahead of Botkins. At half, it was 27-10 Raiders. After 3, it was 42-22 Raiders. And our final here tonight, the Russia Raiders take home a victory, 56-27. Our individual scoring night, taking a look at that first for the Trojans. They had 4 from Camden Paul, 5 from Lydia Dietz, 5 from Eleni Maurer, 4 from Kennedy Dosek, 4 from Delana Pitts, and 5 from Jana Metz. For the Russia Raiders, as they get their 4th win in a row, they were led in scoring tonight from Kate Sherman, who had 14. Cece Borchers had 13. Kelby Dosek, 6. 4 for Ronnie Poling, 3 for Jayla Shappy, and 4 for Addison Shappy. Also 2 for Courtney and Lacey Flippo. Raiders advanced to 16-4 on the season. They moved to 9-2 in the Shelby County 9-2 in the Shelby County Athletic League. They play at Versailles on Saturday. If you're going to that game, it's Versailles' throwback game. They'll be playing in their old gym at their old school, which is just right down the road from their newer high school. So the Raiders play then, and the Botkins Trojans fall to 11-8, 7-4 in the Shelby County League. They'll play Monday here against Lima Perry, which is a game you can catch here on NKTelco Sports. Here are our final numbers, Mr. Jeremy Plyman.
For the visiting Russia Raiders, they had 22 rebounds on the night, 9 offensive, 13 defensive rebounds. They turned it over 14 times, 10 of those in the second half. Game breaker tonight, 54% from the field, 21 of 39. They were 4 for 15 from 3, 10 of 12 from the free throw line, so took those freebies really well. The Trojans, on the other hand, only had 11 rebounds on the evening, 18 turnovers, and shot 26% from the field. They were 9 for 34 from the field, 4 for 16 from 3, and 5 for 8 from the free throw line.
And yeah, you really took a look, and we talked that second quarter was that big swing. There was a couple threes hit, one by Reese Gubo and one by Jayla Shappy. Seemed to kind of swing the momentum of this game here tonight, and the Raiders get a victory here over the Trojans, probably securing them second place in the Shelby County Athletic League here tonight. The Trojans fall to 11-8, but they'll be back here Monday in action against Lima Perry on NKTelco Sports.
Yeah, and like you said, Brandon, this game was very competitive the first quarter, and then the Trojans just struggled to shoot and knock down some shots, had some turnovers. The length and size of Russia kind of took hold in that second quarter. You know, Coach Bremingen really was working that high-low action, and Kate Sherman, was having a field day on the block. And then, like you said, at 14-10, the Trojans came down, turned it over. Cece Borchers pushes the action down the floor. They get an open three. The Trojans go back down, miss a shot in a hurry. Again, Cece Borchers pushed it down, found Gubo for another three, and those 6 points really kind of ballooned it pretty quickly.
And before we head out here tonight, we'd like to name our player of the game, brought to you by NKTelco. And our player of the game is going to be Kate Sherman.
Kate came in averaging about 8 points a game, had 14 on the night, did not keep individual rebounds, but I'd say she was close to that double-double range, altered a lot of shots when the Trojans got in there. Kate Sherman had a real good game this evening.
So that'll do it for us here tonight. Again, the Russia Raiders advanced to 16-4 on the season. They'll play at Versailles Saturday. The Botkins Trojans fall to 11-8 and 7-4 in the Shelby County Athletic League. They'll be back in action Monday against Lima Perry here on NKTelco Sports, a game you can catch here on our Key Motion camera. So for Jeremy Plyman, I'm Brandon Coverman. For the final time here, the Russia Raiders defeat the Botkins Trojans 56-27. We'll catch you here next time on NKTelco Sports.